your early influences in your own writing. So there is a strong classical element to your playing because people comment on your virtuosity on the guitar. Where does that come from?
Well, I think it comes from those things that I just told you about, from listening to classical music, listening to music by Mozart is one person I admired a lot, though he never had a chance to write for the guitar. But Mozart, for example, I enjoyed Beethoven, all of the legends. And when I heard Segovia playing some of their pieces that he had transcribed for guitar, then it really, really made me more interested in it. And I practiced a lot of hours, 14 hours a day. You know, you can't, what people don't realize, especially these young kids, a lot of these young kids who are grunge rockers. I mean, grunge rock, I mean, it doesn't take talent to play a guitar out of tune.
Right.
You know, you can do that very easily.
Without a third chord.
Yeah, and what some of these young kids have to realize, a lot of them learn the electric first. Well, I learned the acoustic first because in the acoustic is where the men are men, and on the electric, you know, you can make mistakes on the electric and the amplifier covers them up, or the nature of the instrument covers them up. But on an acoustic, you make a mistake and it stands out like a sore thumb, especially when you're doing classical.
That's a candid. That's very candid for our viewers at home.
Well, it's true. It really is. And I get a little annoyed sometimes at some of these young kids who come out and think they're really great guitarists. I mean, there are the exceptions, like a Van Halen, for example, who is a great guitarist, or other exceptions, you know. But like, for example, people like Kurt Cobain, for example, Kurt was a depressing writer, man.
Right, he really was, yeah.
And people are making him, you know, like into a god. Well, I'm sorry. The guy's talent was limited, and if people get mad at me for that, I'm sorry to say that, because I like to recognize talent. I really do. There's nothing better for me, for my spirit, than to recognize somebody who's really doing something. And there are a lot of people who are doing something. German guitarist Akmar Lieber, whatever his name is.
Absolutely, Akmar Lieber.
Yeah, he's doing some good things.
Good player, yeah.
And John McLaughlin, whom I think is an incredible guitarist also.
Let me ask you about Paco de Lucia. What do you think of Paco's playing?
I think Paco's playing is fantastic. He's really one of the best flamenco guitarists of his time. Again, you know, I've always enjoyed Savicas, who was the father, who's the old-fashioned flamenco guitarist, you know. But I love Paco. Paco is not only fast but tasty. And there's other players like Manolo San Lucas, who is I think Paco's equal, but in a tastier way. Because Paco, maybe his playing has changed now, but in the beginning, Paco is too flashy. And
it's almost too quick, but
yeah, what
a physical skill.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
Very admirable.
No, God gave him a great pair of hands, and that's important. You know, it's a funny thing, but guitar and sports are similar in the sense that to play guitar, you have to have a good pair of hands. You know, if you don't have a good pair of hands, you know, you're going to drop every fly ball that comes your way in musical perspective, you know.
Right. Well, what advice do you have for those beginning players that are out there, that let's say that they want to be a rock guitarist or whatever capacity?
Well, if they want to be a rock guitarist, you know, I say, you know, do that. But I also say, too, that, I don't know, see, I've always believed in diversity. Rock isn't going to last forever, as it's been going through phases, you know.
Right.
And if you play the other kinds of music, I think it gives you a more well-rounded musical education. I mean, I love listening to guys like Charlie Christian, you know, and Kenny Burrell and Django Reinhardt, who really was a big influence on my playing. Those people, man, if they were alive today, they could play rock if they had to.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you know, a lot of the rock musicians, for example, could not play. I mean, like, as much as I think Eric Clapton is a great guitarist, I'm sorry, but acoustically he doesn't do it for me. Yeah. Because the fire in his electric playing is tremendous, but
that's awesome, really. Yeah.
But he doesn't have that fire on the acoustic. You know.
I want to ask you about singing because you know, in the conservatories they're really hammer.
By the way, it's not a criticism of Eric. I happen to think he's a great musician.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like I play rock guitar, but I also know that hell, I'm not a Van Halen or a Jimi Hendrix, whom I admired a lot. You know, I know my limitations too, so I didn't say that as for any criticism of Eric. I think for what he does, Eric is a great guitar player.
And a very great songwriter.
And a great songwriter as well.